Hello.
Hi.
Make sure it's on.
Yep, it's on.
I'm on.
I'm Shaw, and together we are
On Shaw. I'm sorry. Uh, so it is Saturday
Cheers.
night. Cheers. We're drinking. What are we drinking? We don't really actually drink a lot. I mean, you guys know I'm not a huge drinker. Sharon's not a huge drinker. But tonight,
Not anymore.
we are drinking. What are we drinking?
Screwball.
Screwball. It's actually a. Should I go get the whiskey bottle to show everybody?
Sure.
Okay, hold on. Hold
Let's
on.
see how much we've already
Oh,
drank.
show me your shirt. Hold on. This is live.
I am wearing my Shanghai Tunnels Tour shirt. And this is what we used to wear down doing tours down in the tunnels. In fact, a lot of us wanted to get Tunnel Rat put on the back.
Tunnel
because
Rats.
that's what we felt
That's
like.
what we were. So this is called Screwball. It is
Peanut butter whiskey.
peanut butter whiskey. I'll kind of put this close so you guys can see it. It's really good. We were introduced this to
In
Sumter, Oregon, just in
God,
January.
You got it right.
I know. I keep saying Sumter, but it's Sumter. Okay. Anyway.
I got the Crown Royal Peach over there.
Yeah, that sounds good too. So we wanted to make this video, and we've been kind of having a hard time with Michael Jones's passing.
Michael P. Jones.
Michael P. Jones.
The Cascade Geographic Society.
Right. It's hard because we have known Michael for how long? I've only known him, 10 years? You've known him longer than me.
About maybe 12.
Yeah, so it's been a little rough for us, but it's been rough for all of us that knew Michael. He was a really good guy. But anyway, I'm drinking this out of a mason jar. So we were going to make a toast to Michael really quick. To Michael Jones, dad, mentor, and friend, and goofball. Like, a lot of you guys don't know, he was really a goofball, like me and Sharon. Okay.
And an educator.
And an educator.
Yeah.
So cheers to Michael Jones. I love and miss you.
Shante. Michael.
Yeah. So this might go on long. I don't know what's going to happen. We're just kind of wanting to do this video and talk about, we're just trying to heal and just honor Michael by telling some stories of our times together. Really, some are serious stories, some are funny memories. I even have pictures I was going to show you guys of, there's really some old pictures of Sharon. Some old pictures of me too. But anyway, just, so you can see the other tour guides, and, we can kind of tell you some of the stories and tell you of the real Michael. So some of you guys may have known Michael just from being on TV and school, like he was a professor, and he did a lot of projects. So a lot of people, some people didn't know him, but I noticed that on his obituary memorial, a lot of people were writing in saying that they saw him on Porters to Hell on Travel Channel, Ghost Adventures on Travel Channel, and they wanted to pay their respects by signing in. So for those of you guys that didn't really know him, we'll tell you a little bit about him. Yeah. So anyway, so Sharon, do you want to start, or do you want to talk about how you met Michael? And Nita was his wife, is his wife. So we've been still talking to her. She's doing as good as can be expected, as you can probably imagine, after over 20 years of marriage. But go ahead, tell her, because I met her when I first started doing Shanghai Tunnels. So
Yeah.
tell me the story.
I
Sorry,
mean,
it's late at night. What time is it? Squirrel moment.
22:55.
Okay, so what? Wait a minute!
10:55.
Don't say she was in the military.
10:55.
She's a vet.
10:55.
10:55. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. What story do I want to leave off with? Yeah. Okay. So
I'm
it's
not
funny-
drunk. I'm not.
No, it's funny that you're doing that because I was just getting ready to talk. It was It was a Bigfoot festival. And Michael was very prominent here in Portland and up on Mount Hood, and with a lot of the Indian tribes and everything. He was his baby was a Cascade Geographic Society. They do the Shanghai Tunnel Tours down in Portland out of hobos. They actually have a museum that's right around the corner, and there's also a couple of new areas of the tunnels, which me personally, I haven't even been in since they opened it to the public. I went in there like quite a few years back when they first, was getting in there. But anyway, the Cascade Geographic Society would host the Huckleberry Festival, the mushroom festival. Was it mushrooms, salmon? Mm-hmm. And they had the Bigfoot festival. I mean, there was a lot that they had their hands in, and Michael was always very focused. Okay. When it came to the festivals, because there's just so many things to oversee, and
control freak.
We used to joke about how it's Festival Mike. Because sometimes we wanted to wring his neck, okay, but
he was so mean.
But he was in a room. We went off to a room on the side, and he was. I can't remember if he was introducing the next speaker or he was getting ready to tell a story. I don't remember, but Kathy Duncan and I went in there, and for some reason, I kind of got the giggles when he started, and he looked at me and he got the giggles. And we were trying to film it, so we had to stop. And we started again. And we both started giggling again. Camera had to stop. This went on until finally I left the room because he couldn't do anything with me in there because he was too busy laughing, just like I was. So ever since then, I have this ringtone that I would give Michael. This is
so funny.
I've got to figure out how to get my ringtone. Let's go to settings. This was his ringtone, and I still use it.
This was Catherine right there. It's Catherine. And Michael and Nita.
How the hell do I find this? You could tell this is live, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know what
This will not
the
be
hell
perfect.
we're doing.
I don't want to edit it. It's raw. This is real, okay? Not edited like what you see on TV.
Sounds
it's
and
all
haptics.
raw. All raw.
Okay, let me find ringtone. All right.
This is so funny.
All right, this is the one that, make sure my ringer's up. This is the one that I assigned to Michael.
So every time Michael would call Sharon, I was with her. That was Michael's ringtone.
So, yeah. Oh, okay, it's starting again.
It's still going. So that was, I was trying to tell you, she's talking about Catherine. That's her. She had a group called Trails End Paranormal we were all involved in.
TEPS.
Yeah, TEPS. You probably, those of you guys that watch Ghost Adventures, the Shanghai Tunnels episode, she is in it. Also, that's Michael and his wife, Nita. So, Michael, I miss you. Okay, go on. You have to tell what else happened.
Oh, God. I mean, there's just so many stories. I remember giving my first tour.
Oh, God.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was terrified. I had paper in my hand. And Michael kept telling me, you can do this. You can do this. And I'm like, no, I can't. I can't do this. So I actually managed to get through it. I was literally sitting there and the paper would shake because I was so nervous, and it was a small group, and it was like a family, and the guy was like, just calm down, you're fine. He goes, we don't mind if you have to read off of that a little bit. And so I managed to get through it. And I guess I did okay. I ended up keep doing tours, and then somehow it kind of worked around where I usually got the last tour of the night, which is fondly known as the drunk tour.
She always got the drunks.
Michael
tell her
said-
what that meant, or tell him what that meant, though, the drunk tour. What does that exactly mean?
That means most of the people going on the tour were drunk.
Because it was after hours and it was after the bars were closing.
So,
right?
Well, they weren't closing, but they'd sat there at Hobo's having those yummy ass drinks.
Yeah, that's true.
Excuse me, those yummy ass strong drinks before they were going down to the tour. And let me tell you, there were some doozies. But Michael always told me, you have a way with them, Sharon.
He was such a good coach.
I was like, maybe because I had a beer before I did it. I don't know. But no. I just remember, man, I'd come out of there with some stories, and me and him would sit there and giggle over some of the stuff that happened. Crazy. But yeah, drunk tours. Yay.
Yeah. Drunk tours.
All right. Your turn for a little bit.
So, I actually met Sharon, before I started being a tour guide. She was talking about, so Michael had this, what she was just talking about. He had like, all these festivals we called it the Haunted Settlement or the Settlement. And basically that was Rhododendron, Oregon.
Yep.
Kind of by the Mount Hood area. And it was so fun.
Behind the Dairy Queen
Yeah,
on the way
yeah.
up to Mount
It was
Hood.
by the Dairy
Everybody
Queen.
knows that.
It was so not. If you go past Brighton, you're too far, right? Wasn't it past Brighton, Oregon, or something? We went there for years and we still can't. Like, why? But anyway, so when I had moved to Portland, this was like, gosh, I want to say 2010, 2009.
That's when you guys moved to Portland?
No, I'm sorry, not moved to Portland. That's when I met you.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, I wasn't even a tour guide yet. I think it was like 2009 or 2010. And so there was supposed to be this, festival. And it was like I don't know if it was a ghost
History,
one.
no.
It was history.
Are you talking about the one at the village?
Yeah.
It was a living history village.
That we
thing.
got
We
to
had
go
dress
ghost hunting,
up.
though, because I have we went ghost
Yeah,
hunting.
they did ghost
Yeah.
hunting. They let people come in and ghost hunt on certain, we had certain groups that went to certain buildings.
Yeah.
But it was a living history village is what we basically called it. And we all had to dress up. And
I did it. I have ones that I dressed up in. Wait till you see it. It's pretty.
same here.
Yeah. Michael insisted that we dressed up in it.
And I always got stuck at the wash house.
Oh, God.
The freaking wash house. But that's okay, because it was always fun. It was good to talk to people who came through, and we even got to talk about the old washers and stuff sitting out there. So, and I got to spend time with my daughter. We were up there together. Yeah, it's just a good time. And we all kind of stayed together in the lodge, and people were on couches and pullouts, but we were all having fun. We were all a family. So it was nice. It was really nice. Not to mention that, it's freaking haunted as hell. So
yeah, but anyway, so I heard about this festival going on, and I was really getting into the paranormal at that time. I was always into it, but more so. And so my ex-husband and I actually went, and I saw Sharon. She was selling like food with Shayna. Well, you guys were selling
the
something.
huckleberry
Yeah.
milkshakes or pancakes or
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
It
they
was
were
something.
the only ones that would talk to me. Like, nobody would talk to me, probably because I was weird, still am. And I just remember that they were the only ones that talked to me, and I was super excited, just super excited about, like, being there. And then I found out, they talked more about what was going to happen. We were going to ghost hunt, but also about they were Shanghai Tunnel Tour guides. And so I literally was so excited. I was like, I wanted to find out more but they were the only ones that talked to me. And I was just in awe with the whole thing. Just, Michael and his stories, and, everybody that were tour guides and worked at the Shanghai Tunnels. Gosh, I have so many of these pictures. But I was just, oh my gosh, sorry.
Okay, you
guys.
passed them.
Yeah, I passed them. Hold on. But I did have a first picture that I took.
Oh, that was with you and Shayna. Lord, that wasn't.
I know. So this was Shayna. This is Sharon's daughter, and this was Shayna and I. And this was really old. I think, God, I'd been with Shanghai Tunnels maybe a year. But it's, I don't know if you could see that or not.
Yep, on the top.
Put this up here. Hold on. It's right there. That's us. That's Sharon's daughter, Shayna. She was also a tour guide. So she was the one that really...
she kind of grew up there.
Yeah, she's...
They were her second family.
Yeah, she's a lot older now. But, yeah, so... Anyway, I just, and they were like, well, you can't be a tour guide unless you take a tour and see if it's really what you want to do. And they were telling me that some things might happen, some things might not happen, but, just to make sure they didn't sign me up and then I changed my mind. But actually, let me go back. So I told you this is where I met Sharon, and that was the first time I met Michael. And I was just in awe. I was like taking pictures. And that was like one of the rooms at the lodge. And what was that? It's a dining room, I think.
Let me see.
It was, or let me see.
I'm like,
sorry, you guys. This is so live and it's like so weird. This
I gotta put my glasses on.
See what I mean?
I'm blind. That was in...
Well, I'm not talking about the year, but...
No, I'm trying to figure out the...
It was like the banquet room or something, I thought.
It was the mess hall.
The mess hall, which is
where
like
they
the
like the banquet. Yeah.
So anyway, so I, did this tour and everything and met Michael and Catherine and Shayna and Sharon. And I don't think I met any of the other tour guys. Was Dennis there, maybe? Maybe Dennis
I don't think Dennis was there that year, but
yeah,
Cindy was there.
Yeah,
but I don't think
I met Cindy though.
I don't think she. Well, she might have missed that one because it might have been when she when I first started there. She had been in a skiing accident right after I took my tour. So in between taking my tour and starting to go down there and volunteer, she ended up having pins, like 5 or 6 pins, and her hand was like immobilized. So
oh my gosh. So
it might have been during that time.
Yeah, so anyway, I took, and I have pictures of me holding my paperwork to be a tour guide and a volunteer, and so kind of went from there, took a tour, and loved it. And Dennis was my tour guide, and that's awesome. Dennis here. I'm just going to pick this up and show you. This is Dennis here. Gosh, can you even, it's the light. There we go. There's Dennis. And he's actually a retired NASA scientist. And we're really all good friends. Like, she's got a funny story about Dennis, but...
We're not going to discuss that tonight.
Yeah, so Dennis is the one that gave me my first tour, and he was amazing. I had so much fun, and he was patient, answered all my questions. And from this day, we're still all really good friends, Dennis and I and Sharon and everybody. And I've got a lot of stories about Dennis, a lot. Every time I'm with Dennis, there's something paranormal that happens every time.
He almost gave me a black eye. Fucking hit me in the face with the shovel. And he didn't mean to, and he felt so bad.
So if you guys ever take a tour at Shanghai Tunnels, go to Dennis. Is really fun. He's a really fun tour guide, and his stories are amazing. He has a lot of experience, and he's just very patient. Will show you everything.
Oh yeah.
And he's a really amazing. Like I said, every time I'm with Dennis, something paranormal happens. I mean, the famous one. Should I go ahead and tell him this story?
Yeah, good.
Michael loves this one, or he loved that one, but So I was down there, and I was obviously wearing my hair in ponytails. Hello. And I had these hair ties in my hair. And I go down, I'm getting ready to do a tour, and actually no help with the tour. I think I was helping Cindy do her tour. There's a picture of Cindy too somewhere here. Anyway, I was helping Cindy, and as I was coming down, one of these broke. And girls know that these things don't break. I mean, it takes a lot for it to break, or maybe it's worn out. Yeah, they don't break. Okay, these don't break. And if it did, okay, maybe it was old, or it was like kind of getting skinny here and breaking. And I was like, okay, I didn't think anything weird, right? Because, it's like one thing that broke. So I'm helping Cindy. Was it with Cindy? No, it was Dennis's tour. It was Dennis's tour. And like I said, everything always happens around Dennis. And he was giving a tour. I felt the other one break. It just like, I felt my hair getting pulled and it broke. And I'm like, what the hell, right? So I put another, hair tie in there, the last one I had. And we're going through the tunnels again. And this one breaks again. And this is a new one that I put in. So I asked Cindy, this is why I mentioned Cindy. I asked Cindy, she's another tour guide. I have pictures of her, by the way, somewhere. There's a lot of pictures of Cindy and I. And you and Cindy too.
Me and Cindy had some good times too.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's so many. There's years, like over 10 years of stories with all of us.
And with the hobo staff.
Oh gosh, you guys,
too.
this can go on forever. But so anyway, it broke.
Because someone wants to finish their drink.
And so I told Cindy, I was like, do you have a hair tie? Of course she did. We all do. Because it's so dusty and dirty. We're always putting our hair up. So I'm like upstairs, we're done with the tours. I'm talking to Dennis and Cindy. And the other one breaks. And I'm like, okay, obviously I know something's going on. And when that broke, Cindy and both Dennis saw my hair getting pulled and they saw it break. So, and we were upstairs. We weren't even in the tunnels. We were in Hobos, which is just above the tunnels. So Andy, the one that owns Hobos, one of the owners.
Co-owner.
Right. He, Harriet and Andy, but it was Andy that helped me. He had just a regular rubber band, so he gave it to me. So I was just like, whatever. So I used to ride my bike to help with the tours because I didn't live far from the tunnels. And it was kind of at night, and I'm riding my bike, and I felt the other hair tie break. And I'm like, whoever's with me can't follow me home, damn it. I'm like freaking out. Get into my apartment after that. And my apartment is pretty new building. It was new buildings. Turn on the light bulb exploded, and the other hair tie breaks. Yeah, it was very scary. I slept with the lights on that night. So anyway, I called the maintenance guy to tell him to fix the light bulb. And he had called me at work the next day, and he asked me, he goes, what did you do? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you really shattered that light bulb. And I said, all I did was turn it on. And he said of all the years they'd been a maintenance guy, he was an older guy, he said no, he'd never seen that before, or he'd never seen it that bad before. So yeah, that was one of the stories with Dennis. That's like one. Every time I'm with him, I get scratched, I get somebody pats my butt, and Dennis swears it's not him. But it's always something with Dennis.
It wasn't Dennis. Okay,
yeah.
So when you're watching this, it was not Dennis. Okay, Dennis?
Yeah. So back to Michael, but this is like about like us tour guides and Michael and all our projects. And but Michael was like, we put up with a lot with him, but he also put up a lot with us too. With our shenanigans. Look at me. I have pictures of here the way I dressed for the tour. Sometimes he'd look at me.
I dressed. Black jeans.
Sometimes he would ask me, what are you wearing?
And my boots.
Yeah, he would ask me, he goes, what are you wearing? But he would let me. He just kind of...
He asked me what I was wearing once.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't at the tunnel. He called me, or I can't remember if he called me or I called him. I just know that I said hello, and he said, what are you wearing? And I was like,
what?
Huh? And he said it again. He goes, "What are you wearing?" And I hear Nita just laughing
Nita's
her
his
ass
wife.
off in the background.
Yeah.
And he starts laughing. I'm like, "What are you guys doing? What's going on?" And I believe the joke was that she was saying that I was like his tunnel wife.
His second wife.
Yeah, his tunnel wife, and that's why he was like, "What are you wearing?"
No. So this is Cindy. We're mentioning Cindy, the other tour guide. She'd been there longer than us. God, that light is just like right. I think it's from the phone or from the. It's the picture. It has the light in the background.
Yeah.
I'm like, but anyway, that's Cindy. Yeah, she'd been a tour guide. It looks so rough right now.
She's been there forever.
Been there forever.
Did you seriously just try to put that on there?
Yeah, I did, and I'm not even drunk. I'm not even drunk.
You'll know when she's drunk because she gets louder.
Yeah, trust me. But anyway, that was Cindy. I just wanted to let you guys know. So, but anyway, Michael, he was so passionate about like the history and the tunnels. As you guys know, he stumbled onto the tunnels. We heard this story many times when he was only 7. And, I mean, if you want to, read about it, I think the obituary talks about that story, but we know that story by heart. Mm-hmm. We told the story at the beginning of our tours. And, but his passion was so amazing. I mean, he lived and breathed the Shanghai Tunnels and all these other projects. He, was getting ready to open up the newest part of the tunnels. And, which if you watch Porters to Hell, you'll see that.
Did you say porters?
Porters?
Portals.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay.
Oh, it's like
my English is bad.
It's a bad Aussie commercial, remember? Not portholes.
Yeah.
Portals.
But actually, yeah, so, it just went on and on and on. He had projects. Also, he had his museum, his Shanghai Tunnels Museum. We were all a part of that. We did digs. We would find artifacts. It was a continuous
Oh my
thing.
God, that would tick me off. I would dig and dig and dig and not get shit.
We got like a lot of shit.
My son would go down there just once in a blue moon because he doesn't like the paranormal stuff. And he would come up with bottles that are capped with fluid in it. And I'm like,
God.
Oh my God.
Remember when they found the prostitute book?
I wasn't there for that.
Yeah,
but I was the one that found the tooth.
Oh God! So it wasn't me, but they found like a Bardello book or something, and it was like, oh my gosh, Julie's a tour guide there too. Not anymore. I mean, a lot of us aren't there anymore, but she she's the one that found it, and it was just like blah blah blah, 25 cents. If you're older than 30, 5 cents extra. I could say a lot of other bad things, but I won't.
We're not.
I was just okay.
We're going to let that go.
But, yeah, so this was a picture of, like, how we looked during our digs. We had...
No, we didn't all wear, like, furry coats and stuff.
But we did... Michael gave us, like, special gloves that we got to dig. But it was fun.
Let me tell you about...
the work parties. We called it work parties.
They're never parties.
Yeah,
when I left... I was gone for a year because I was I was sent to Afghanistan. So I
sent there. She was sent there. No, like Navy not Navy. Okay, she wasn't Navy. Like sent there.
They sent my ass to Afghanistan with the army. No wonder I'm all fucked up. Anyway, I loved that place so much that I got home, I think it was like 23:30 the night, 11:30 at night. I flew in, my kids picked me up from the airport. The next day at 3:34, I was at the tunnels. because I was ready to see my other family and to volunteer. That's how much I love that place.
We were always there.
And, there were times when I couldn't be there because, I was stationed at Whidbey Island or Everett, and I would come home like every other week, or when I got stationed at Whidbey Island, it was like once a month I'd come home. And I always managed to get down there, when I came home, spend time with my kids and get down there to help out and do what I could. But it was just, I'm so thankful that I got that experience and that I got to meet Michael and Nita and all those other people, because they're amazing people, and Michael sacrificed a lot to bring this information out and to keep it alive all this time.
That was one of the pictures. This is kind of how our tours were looking. So this is me giving a tour, but this is how sometimes packed our tours were. And then we'd walk them through to go down. And then that is where the door you can kind of see just above my head there is from the 1800s. It was to keep people in. It was, oh my gosh, that's such an old picture. These are memories, Memories.
There's one thing I always said on my tours. I was like, a few things you need to know. We talked about smelling the perfume of a prostitute. Just letting you know, I'm wearing perfume. I am not a prostitute. Do not come up and try to smell me, because no, that's not cool.
Oh my God.
And I'll say that, I don't scream. I woman holler. And I don't run. I move swiftly with purpose.
Swiftly with purpose.
And that played off down in the tunnel, along with the rest of the tour. I kind of did mine a little different, I like to interact and mingle with the tour guy or the tourists. Fun. And yeah, there's a part where I came and I would grab someone and be like, "Come here, honey, come with me." And I actually had it didn't matter if it was a man or a woman. I would just grab someone. And this one guy refused to walk with me, and I turned around and grabbed his wife, and she came with me, and I'm like, there, see, she ain't afraid. But though that was just as I got them to turn, towards me and her or whoever I had with me, I'd say, and then they push the lever, and then that Mac would fall
I gotta show that picture. I do have it.
Shit out of people. I loved that.
Yeah, we just met a lot of people wanted to take pictures with Michael and all of us, and a lot of them seeing us like on Ghost Adventures, or not just even that.
Not me, because that shit all happened when I was in Afghanistan.
Every time we'd film, she'd be like shipped out somewhere. But we met a lot of people are like, "That's Nina! Oh my gosh, that's Nina, you played Nina. Oh my gosh, that's Michael." Or they would see Andy from, Andy was one of the owners at Hobos, and he was in a lot of shows, and people recognize, they're like, "That's that guy.
The only thing I was there for is they filmed part of a movie down there. But I will say that my machete played a featuring role. My machete was used in that movie. And there was one show. No, because Paul and Taylor, they were the owners of my home. They came down. They were doing filming, and let's see, my son, my now son-in-law, my daughter, myself, Paul and Taylor, we were all in there. And I remember we were supposed to act like we were tourists, and they dropped Mac, and I jumped.
I wanted to show
them. It wasn't very,
So Mac was a dummy, and we would have these trap doors. Some of them were original. Yeah, deadfalls. Some were original, some weren't. And we would show, we'd give a tour, and then we would pull it when they're not expecting it, and a dummy would fall out. And we tricked a lot of tour goers with that.
Mm-hmm.
But we nicknamed him Mac, and he had this flannel shirt on. He kind of
And no head.
No head. He never had a head. And Michael would always say the same thing. Yeah, he fell so many times he lost his head. Remember he used to say that? But yeah, that was
I used to like to lurk in the corners. Michael got to the point where I was so good at blending in, because it would scare the shit out of some of the tour goers. So, but I got so good at blending in that Michael would come through like the door and he'd shine his flashlight over and look for me to see where I was at, because he couldn't see me.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm lurking.
He's lurking.
I scared the shit out of a lot of people, Michael included. Oh, there was one day I was meeting him down there, and it was a school group.
Oh gosh.
And
groups. Nito usually did those. So.
I got down there, we both kind of got down there a little late. And so I had to rush to get everything set up. Now this is when the shoes were still in the other room, and we had to pick them up and carry them in. So one of the things I also like to tell the tour,
the boots, they were kind of boots. Actually.
Yeah, the tourists that were coming down, was that there were like really big, what do you call them? Support beams, really big wooden support beams down there. And if you weren't careful, you walk into one.
Yeah.
So this time, I'm like running to get stuff done, right? And so I was like, I'm not going to use my flashlight. I know where everything is. And I grabbed those boots and put them down, and then I turned around and went running and slammed her face first into one of those things. Michael almost came down to me laid out on the floor, because holy shit.
Gosh.
I saw stars, birds, everything that you see.
Stars.
Yeah, everything that they show in cartoons that they see, yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it could be dangerous down there if you're not paying attention. And sometimes there were sinkholes that would happen. Remember those? We'd have to, put dirt in them again.
It's funny because I always wore my sunglasses on my head. And I managed to have the same pair for like 3 or 4 years before they were too scratched up for me to see. And that's because the pipes were low, and even I had to duck.
I know. Yeah.
See, that shit was low. It was like playing limbo or whatever is it they called.
Yeah, I thought I had, oh yeah. I thought I had,
It's not limbo, what is it?
I thought I had pictures of Mac, that dummy we were talking to you about.
Oh, there was a good picture of Cindy.
Yeah, which one? Cindy?
Is that her?
Cindy
That's
and I.
you and Cindy.
So this is Cindy and I when we were doing mysteries at the museum. Who was filming there?
Okay,
Right
there you go.
There's Cindy
Down,
and I.
a little bit lower. There you go,
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. It was Cindy and I when we were
I have a lot of pictures as well, but mine are all on a...
Well, because it was old. You still had the camera thing.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really take it with your phone.
Mm-mm. But mine are all on like an external hard drive, because I don't want to lose them. I've already lost a lot of pictures from down there, and I don't want to lose any more, so...
Yeah. So, anyway, gosh, I thought I did have a picture of Mac, and I thought I saved it. Apparently not. But anyway, we wanted to also talk about this flashlight. So we had... we have all these flashlights. I didn't use those. Yeah. What do you mean you didn't use those? You never used it? Mm-mm. I used your own? Well, you still had to put batteries in it.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I still had to deal with them.
So this
is it not coming
working.
up?
It's just not working. Sorry, this is so live, and I'm using this Kindle, and I was trying to...
They got pictures in the one in front of it. The cameras, or the...
No, but it's
Someone's
spinning.
drinking our liquor. No, they got... There's...
Yeah, I know, but I was trying to blow it up, and then...
Oh, okay, because I was going to say they're in the picture above it. Will that pull up?
No, it doesn't blow up. But anyway, I'll just show you a little bit of it. Just a second.
Don't straighten it out. Okay.
Right there. That's the flashlight, and then I'm holding the flashlight right there. So is Sharon.
And that's Natasha.
And then that's
Nastasha
me.
in the middle.
Yeah, Nastasha also volunteer there too. But anyway, we would have to, you know, replace the batteries all the time because they would just always die. Because, you know, we did a lot of tours and they were a pain in the butt. Let me tell you something. But Michael had to have those flashlights. He had to have the special flashlights, you know.
Remember that part where he's like, okay, everybody flashlights off. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
When I first came back from Afghanistan, Michael's doing a tour. And he was like, okay, everybody, flashlights off. And there was still lights on. And he's like, yeah, we just need everyone's flashlights off. And it was still on. I was like, flashlights off! And this, I must have been sounding very authoritative, or I don't know, because this woman turned it off. She's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, giving tours, it was not easy. I mean, you had to deal with all different personalities. And
I had a guy who peed down there, and I don't know which one it was.
She'd get the drunk. She would get the last tour.
Dude, I went off. I've had a woman try to violate Mac.
Oh, God, are you serious?
Not on my tour, bitch. Not on my tour.
Oh, my, probably showing off to her friends. Yeah. See, this is not loading.
Call me Shonda.
Sorry, I have lots of pictures, but it's not really loading. But yeah, just a lot of experience giving tours. And Michael was a fun, though. He gave the best tours out of all of us, I think, because that was his baby. And he was just so patient with people. They can ask questions. And he was just so, oh gosh,
He's special.
I can't even just tell you how special he was and how he changed so many people's lives. I mean, for me, he was like a dad, a mentor, a friend, and he was just always there for me. He and Nita, actually.
Sometimes he didn't know how to take me, because I'd embarrass him.
Yeah,
sometimes.
we would always embarrass him. Sometimes he would just sit there and he'd go, what? You know?
He actually told me one time, because he had to take Shayna, my daughter, he would drop her off at home when I wasn't here and she was volunteering, because it was kind of on the way to his house. He'd drop her off so she could, you know, help out, you know, until the end of the tours at night. And one night they had to drive home during the naked bike ride.
Oh,
we have a yearly naked bike ride here.
Keep Portland weird.
And I remember walking up to him and talking to him, and I was like, yeah, I heard, you know, you and Shayna were stuck when the naked bike ride, you know, drove by. Shayna was like, it was awkward. I was like, why? I said something about, you know, 20 swinging. And he was like, Sharon, you embarrass me. It's just so cute. Oh my God. I kind of felt bad, but the other part of me was like,
oh my God. I know, you know, Michael was he was so fun. Like, we would I mean, some of the, like, I was telling you about the outfits I'd wear. You know, I always wear weird things. I had a picture in here. Of course, you know, it's not loading. But I would, like, one time, I mean, for example, I'd just wear weird things. One time it was a baseball hat with 2 Mickey Mouse ears on it. And he looked at me, he's like, what are you wearing? He would just let me. You know, I mean, for a while he was thinking about having us all in uniform. And I think it was because of me. Either my shorts were too short, or, you know, like Nita would say something.
Oh my God, you would wear white down there.
Yeah, I'd wear white. I'd wear full-on makeup, which I do anyway. I mean, I'm a fitness instructor and still wear makeup. But, you know, It's just, yeah. So it's just like you never knew what I was. And sometimes he would just look at me, but he was so patient with me. You know, as long as you did what he did, as far as, like, you know, did what you needed to do, you know, with your tours, and, you know, making sure everything was okay down there, and made sure that you showed up and, you know, you took care of everything. I think he was cool about everything else, but he was very strict too. I mean, he did have a strict side, meaning,
he did.
You know, he wanted you to follow the rules and, be respectful, and, you know, make sure. This was his big thing, is that he wanted every tour goer to have a good time. He always said that when we'd go to our meetings or whatever. He goes, that is my goal. I want everybody to have a good time. I don't care if you have 3 people on your tour. I don't care if you have 1 person or how many, 30. I mean, towards the end, we would have like 42 people, sometimes more.
crazy.
It
Doing
was
the
so
split
hard.
tours?
Yeah. And then we'd have to split it, but sometimes it started out like hardly anybody, maybe 10 people, and then it went to 20, then it was
But every
crazy.
time we came on Ghost Adventures or
an
the world's
air.
most terrifying
It would
place,
air,
or
and then it would be like,
America's Most Terrifying Places, and then America's Most Terrifying Places 2 or something like that.
yeah, it would be crazy.
Yeah, we would get so much, attendance from those. But we had a lot of people from a lot of different countries coming.
It was
and
amazing.
It was really nice. And Michael was always interested in talking to them and, asking them, where have you come from, and this and this and that. He really liked documenting that.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people that took tours that we met. I mean, they were just all so happy from all over, the country and all over the world, really. But yeah, anytime that, Shanghai Tunnels would be aired on an episode, that's the next day or the next weekend. It'd be crazy. I almost didn't
For like the
it.
next 2 months.
Yeah, I was like, thanks a lot. Don't air it anymore.
It's like, let us know when you're doing the rerun.
Yeah.
Now that it's on demand, stuff like that's on demand.
Yeah.
Woo!
So, it was just, we would have so much fun on our tour. So many stories. And then like some tour goers would have experiences, some didn't. And, some people would get scratched, or somebody would get pushed, and it didn't always happen. Like, it's not like what you see on those shows, those ghost hunting shows, where everything happens at every episode. Oh my gosh, it's like, doesn't happen like that. So, there were some people that were disappointed. They would go and nothing would happen. They were just like kind of pissed off, or it was not, nothing happened. And I'm thinking, of course it's not. I mean,
It's not an amusement park.
Yeah, and you can't, that's another thing Michael would have us say at our tours, and he would say it, is we don't put trick wire in there. We don't, have a door that's going to open and close by itself. Like, we made it do that. What happens, happens. That was his thing. He didn't want anything fake. Just like, and so, but people, they expect something to happen because they watch these shows and they think everything is going to happen. But it's so funny because as tour guides, we, some days it's really active and some days it's not. Yeah. It's just, you can't make that happen on demand,
The thing that saddens me is Michael spent his entire life, basically his entire life, learning about, restoring, and educating about the tunnel system and what happened and things like that. And he always planned on writing a book.
Oh, I know.
But I don't think he ever got the book finished because he was just so
he's
busy
and picky about it too.
But he was so busy, trying to get the museum up and running. There was always something else for him to do, that would tell the story or give you a better experience that I don't think he had time to write the book. And, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that, he got most of it written and then, maybe it can be published, I don't know, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, no, we were not expecting him to, just like when I was talking to his wife the other day, it's like, we always thought that he would live forever.
Kind of those larger than life people.
Yeah, I just, Michael and I and Michael with other people, we did so many radio interviews and whatever, and I actually listened to one last night, and just hearing his voice, I just need to hear his voice, and it was like, he's still here. I mean, I'm so devastated because, to be honest, when I left about 2 or 3 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago. And when I left, he wasn't happy about it. And, but I left for, some personal reasons and some health issues. And, it was just like, we weren't mad at each other, but we just kind of left it like, we just kind of left it kind of uncomfortable. I mean, when I say uncomfortable, not even that, just left it. I was just ready to go. And so I never really got to say goodbye. And so that's what's hard for me.
Yeah, same here.
And, I mean,
holy shit.
He's probably like laughing, like, why are you guys doing this? This is so Michael. But, and it's been hard, like, since personally, since I found out, since he passed away, I have not been able to get it out of my mind. And he was such a big part of my life for so many years, all our lives, actually.
I mean, we have Shayna. She grew up with
I know. So we have like thousands, literally thousands of stories around Michael. And like in this video, we're not going to be able to tell you all of it, but he was such a good guy. I mean, yes, he was strict.
He had his moments.
He had his moments. He was strict and he was hard-headed, but
he was hard-headed.
But he was, the Michael that I knew too, that we knew had a heart, was caring. He did, I can't even tell you how many things that he and Nita did for me. And as you guys know, I'm a human trafficking survivor. He helped me with that. Nita helped me with that. He started a human trafficking awareness center, part of the Shanghai Tunnels Museum. And he helped a lot of people. He was helping a lot of people. He helped me. And he was just so many projects, you guys, so many projects. I was only involved with like maybe 10 or 11 or 12 projects with them, but it was not even that many. It was more than that. I mean, he had Shanghai Tunnels. He was planning on expanding the Shanghai Tunnels.
He had his work with the Indian tribes.
Exactly.
Still taking care of his family, his mama. I mean, we're talking about a man who, what was her name? The one he took care of until she passed away. He moved her into his home.
Oh gosh, I can't remember. But that's the kind of nice person that he and Nita. I want to include Nita in this,
yes.
Because they were soulmates. They were best friends, and she was also a good tour guide. She was a tour guide. And
you're both educators.
But he had projects with just what she said, but also in preservation. And also, I told you about the lodge that was in rhododendron. Am I saying that right? And many more projects. He had also, like I told you about the human trafficking, he had projects with that. I mean, we were filming for that. We were doing documentaries. He had his hands in so many projects, and he did a lot of nonprofit, like Sharon said, the Cascade Geographic Society, which is nonprofit. I mean, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how many things he had his hand in that he was just trying to change for the better.
I just don't know how it's gonna,
and so that's why I'm sad, and that's why I'm having such a hard time. Sharon and I is Michael always told me that he was, he didn't know what was going to happen if something happened to him. Like, is the tour's going to go on? What's going to happen to Shanghai Tunnels? And like I said, it's like before, in other radio shows that we did, we talked about it, how they're starting to disappear. I mean, it's like all these developers are buying these buildings, and that's tied into the tunnels, and they're all like covering it up, and they're all disappearing. And that was Michael's thing, is he wanted to preserve everything as long as he could. And with him being gone, I just don't know what's gonna happen. And I don't know if that's why I'm not sleeping well, and I'm thinking about all this, is like, because it did mean a lot to us tour guides and people that were with them a long time. you know, we had just as much as compassion as he did, and drive to keep it going, and I'm just worried. I feel him worried too. I don't know why. I just feel like he's like he's gone and he didn't get to complete what he needed to complete, and I feel like he wants me to help him, or I don't know what it is, but I'm just like I want him back so bad. I just want him back.
No tears.
I know, no tears, no tears. But I just really miss him, and I don't know what's gonna happen, but a lot of people loved him, even that didn't even meet him, that just watched him on shows. I mean, but we knew the real Michael. I mean, even the guys that filmed with him, maybe they knew a side of him, but they didn't know the real Michael like we did. I'm sorry.
You know,
We knew everything about him, and he wasn't just what you saw on TV. He was so much more.
I hadn't talked to him in quite a few years. Just, you know, he was busy doing his thing. I was, you know, busy doing my thing. But when my mother died and when he found out, he reached out to me. He did. And that meant so much to me. And I told him that too. I was like, it means a lot that you did that you reached out. So,
He
like
always,
I said, no tears.
I know. You
Damn.
guys have to just realize how hard this is on us. I mean, all his tour guides, all of his family. I mean,
Nita.
I can't even
I can't even imagine how Nita's
yeah, I mean,
holding up.
Nita said she's just trying to take it day by day, and she's doing the best she can, but you know, it's just it, and plus right now we're in quarantine. It's like, you know, I feel like Nita said, you know, she feels like it's the Twilight Zone. That's how I feel. That's how we all feel. It's like
Everything's like surreal.
yeah, it's like our lives are like turned upside down. And then when this whole thing happened with Michael, I was just like, not the selfish me was just like, you know, I felt sorry for myself, even though, you know, it's like, it's only me, but it's not fair. It's so hard. I can't even, like I said, if you guys really knew how he was, I mean, you would understand. He touched so many lives, not just ours, but so many. And he always just wanted to make the world better, you know, and preserve history. And he was a great storyteller. Oh my God, he was a great storyteller. The stories that he would tell, like I could just listen to him all day. He was amazing. He was so patient, so patient. I mean, yeah, he was impatient when it came to some things, but he was like
Festival Mike.
so patient in like, you know, if you did something wrong, like, you know, if I did something wrong, meaning, you know, I screwed up again, or if I needed help, he would never say, you know, oh, you know, I told you so or whatever. He would just help me. And he would say, well, you know, we always start, well, you know.
You know what? I got one more story for you. And I'm going to end this one on a good note.
Okay.
On a fun note.
Okay.
So there was this guy that was like volunteering, and he was actually, you know, kind of taking care of the living village, the living history village.
And that was in Rhododendron.
And yeah, in Rhododendron. And he's a little weird. He was a lot weird. Shayna and I had just arrived, and I was wearing a tank top, and I have a tattoo right here.
There's a surprise military, not a tattoo.
But I have a tattoo right here. It's got it's got part of a flag, and the guy came up and he was like, "Oh, should I salute you?" I was like, "No, you're fine." You know, I'm thinking he's kind of weird, and he's like, "Okay," and the guy actually bent over and kissed my tattoo. And normally the first thing I would do is, you know, a right hook. But I was so freaking shocked. I'm like, and then he just walked away, and I'm like, what the, he just, And I go in there and I tell Catherine, and she's like, "Oh no, you need to tell Michael." And I tell Michael, and he starts laughing. He was like, "Did you hit him?" I was like, "I was too shocked, Michael. I didn't know what to do."
Oh my God.
But he got serious and he told the guy, "Don't you ever."
Yeah. I mean,
But
he
he
could be
started
protective. I know
He was just like, "Did you hit him?"
I know. He could be protective though, Michael. He could be
Yeah.
protective. He would joke and laugh, but sometimes he would
He wouldn't
he wouldn't let any. Oh my gosh, he was so awesome. But anyway, there's so many stories that we'd love to tell you, but we'll try to include pictures so you guys can, maybe I'll put an album together and you guys will be able to look at some of the pictures, because I have years and years full of pictures.
And I
but
could probably get
yeah,
my hard drive out and
she
find
probably
them.
has really good old ones. I have
I have
only 10 years worth.
I have recordings of him
Yeah, so
giving the tours.
yeah, his favorite time was Halloween time, even though that was stressful for him. It was stressful for him because
The ghost tours.
the Halloween tours, they were insane. And he had to have things perfect. And we'd all dress up and he'd wear his little top hat. Like, you've probably seen him in some of his shows with this. He had to have that top hat. He loved that so much. I wonder, I just want to see him wearing it one more time. But anyway, but yeah, so we just wanted to say that we love Michael and we're going to miss him. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm all over the place, but anyway, we just wanted to say that, we love you, Michael, in heaven, and, we'll work out something to preserve everything if we can. We'll find out what's going on. And like I said, it's really hard to do anything right now with the whole world being shut down right now.
All the pestilence.
But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. Anything that we learn or do or whatever, we'll let you know. But if you guys have any comments you want to post, or let us know anything, or just if you want to say some words to Michael, and maybe I can, let Nita read it too. That would be great too. But, yeah, we love Michael. We miss him, and lots of memories. I mean, we're just babbling, but there's so many memories and stories. I mean, we'd be here for days. Maybe we need to write a book. That's what we need to do, a memorial book.
I ain't got time to write a damn book.
I have somebody that would help me write a book.
I wish I could, but I don't have time.
So anyway, okay, well, we're going to sign off. We just wanted to just do this. I mean, I hope that you guys, I don't know, weren't too bored. But anyway.
Why are my lights flickering?
Yeah. It's been weird because our lights have been flickering, and maybe Michael's here.
Since we started doing this, they
you know what we should
like
do
right
before we end it? We should do an EVP session. See if Michael's with us.
Dude, I am not digging out everything.
No, but where's your watch?
It's right there.
Yeah. Why would you have to dig it? It's right there.
God, you're gonna make me move now.
Yes. So
Drink
I know
your
this
own.
is such a side note. I know, I'm like drinking my own.
Okay.
Such a side note, but we got these EVP watches because we're gonna be ghost hunting a lot coming up.
I'm not putting it on. I'm just gonna get
Projects
it started.
coming. I'll let you know. But anyway, it's from Ghost Stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Michael would have loved this. He could have wore this. He
You
could
ready?
have done. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna do EVP session with you guys too.
We're recording. Wait, hold on.
No,
We're
that's
running.
nothing paranormal. That's a car going by.
We're
Okay.
running.
All right. Maybe.
Oh, I'll just hold it.
Okay, or put it on. Do you want me to put it on?
I'm not putting it on.
No, I'll put it on. Do you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is the...
Probably should have put it on before we started recording.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's that
Okay.
peanut butter talking.
So, this is the watch right here. Michael would have loved this, don't you think? He would have wore this and worked it, maybe.
Yeah.
Michael, you can play with this watch if you're here, if you're listening. Okay? Okay. So, Michael, if you're here, can you flicker those lights for us? Maybe you want to say something into this watch? Can you say hi? That's a car going by, so she has her window open. We miss you, Michael. Is there anything that you want to say?
Is there anything that we can do for you?
We would love for you to talk to us and say hi or say something if you can. We miss you. All right, we're going to end it with this, okay? I love you guys, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye, Michael. All right, bye you guys.